both boys smiling at each other at the end.
We'll be right back with the main event right after this short break.
Back closer than it will be, but I'll take you on that score. Mark's going to be very dangerous early on because he's a big puncher and he knows that if he can land one, maybe it might be an early night.
Well, it's 12 rounds for the Championship of Europe. Reefer in the burgundy coloured trunks and Londas in the blue and gold.
Silence comes over the Brentwood Centre as fight begins. Everyone's anticipating what may happen. Londas is very cagey, he's been around a long time, he's got his hands up nice and high, he obviously knows about Reefer's power.
Well, the Frenchman, as we said, is hugely experienced. He's had twice the number of fights that Mark Reefer's had, over twice the number of fights Mark Reefer's had. And extraordinarily, the Frenchman was having his first professional outing when Mark Reefer was just 16 years of age. Been around a long time, Londas, but you never know. They've all got to go sometime, and tonight just could be Mark Reefer's night.
Looks like to feel it out first round on the behalf of both fighters, which is not a crazy thing to do at this level.
We know that Reefer can bang, as we saw in his 2 Commonwealth title fights, and we also know that he can take a good shot as well. John Sachula in particular caught him with 1 or 2 absolute corkers, and Reefer just shrugged him off. It's almost like watching a couple of chess grandmasters just feeling each other out for an opening.
You know, really, there's a lot of tension in both guys at this, in this stage of the fight, the very first round, and both guys don't want to make those stupid mistakes, and it's showing the way they're both feeling and threatening without actually producing.
And it's a key fight for both boys because Londas must realise that at the age of 35, if he loses, it's going to be difficult to come back. And Mark Reefer, hungry for success, Commonwealth title under his belt, realises that a European title shot would open up hitherto undreamed of horizons for him. Got to score that opening round even, Jim.
Yeah, for sure. It's quite an easy round to score, actually. No one really landed with anything to catch anyone's eye. But, I'm sure Mark will be pleased he's got that first round out of the way now, and he can start to settle down and let his power and more natural boxing come together, because he is at the end of the day the challenger in this contest, and he's got to go out there and take his title off on this.
Well, that's so true. We've often made the point, and I'll make no apology for making it again, but when you're a challenger, you've got to go out with a positive attitude. You've got to go out there and win. There's no good pussyfooting around. This is not a rehearsal. This is the real thing.
Now, Mark, obviously, having challenged for the Commonwealth title, would know that better than most, and he knows that Londas isn't going to give it to him on the plate. I'm sure we can see the bombs exploding, possibly in round 2.
European regulations, bustle, 10 seconds before start of each round. Round 2, scheduled for 12. Reefer in the maroon-coloured trunks, Londas blue and gold. Reigning champion, won the title last June. 10th round stoppage over Denmark's Rashid Laval, which was a bit of a surprise at the time, and this is his first defence.
You know, the telling time for Londas will be when Reefer really lands one of his big bombs, notably the left hook. If be interested in that. I know Londas has been on the floor quite a few times throughout his career, and I'm not sure if he's ever been hit as hard as Reefer's got at him tonight.
Getting him on the floor's half the battle, keeping him there's the other half.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
He's certainly giving Reefer a lot of respect. I think he must have watched those fights of Reefer's. Sam McCroman, John Stula, that we featured here on Pro Box. Of course, Pro Box not only live to British audiences, but live in France tonight, live in Germany, live in Holland, live all over Western Europe. In fact, an audience in millions, and I don't doubt that those two Mark Reefer performances found their way to Daniel Londas's video.
Yeah, being an experienced and old cagey campaigner, he's boxing a smart, intelligent fight. He's edging himself into the fight with a jab and feeling his own confidence coming a second stick away.
Even though he's boxed at the highest level, the Frenchman, he hasn't distinguished himself in title fights. That, when you think of the European title, several times before, June's successful title bid was his first successful title fight outside of France.
Early days yet in the 12 round, and no one really getting the upper hand, but everybody's fair, both boxing cagey and just looking to find things out about one another.
Left hook, Mark. Come on, fire. Right, Mark. Come on, left right. Bang the line over. That's it, Mark.
I've got to say, Reefer's boxing very sensibly at the moment. Not taking any chances. I think he must fancy his punching power and his stamina against that of the 35-year-old champion.
It's very early days in the 12 round fight, but I'm sure Reefer will be pleased with the way things are going so far. He's had 2 rounds to feel his way in. He looks sharp, very relaxed, and I think he must be feeling that it's now time to start really applying himself on the fight and letting Londas know that he's here to win. And I think that's what we can expect from Reefer in the next rounds or 2 to follow. I'm sure he'll be looking to really stamp his authority on this contest.
And as we saw there, a good jab from Londas getting through, but Reefer coming back with 4 unanswered jabs of his own. Quick word about the scoring incident. We've got 2 ringside judges, one from Spain, one from Austria. The referee from Holland, Mr. Capel Kleinut. All 3 of them score on the 10-9-8 system. No fractions in European title fights. 10 rounds to the winner, 9 or 8 if it's been a very one-sided round, if there's been a knockdown to the loser. Reefer getting to work a little bit in this 3rd round. Referee Kleinut telling Londas to keep his punches up. Reefer cut, right eye.
Cut very early. I was very worried about that all the way through, and he got cut in his Commonwealth title fight very early in the fight, and miraculously come through to win. I was worried about this incident happening with a sharp, slashing puncher like Londas, and that's all the champion I need to see now if you're looking to go to work on that.
Well, Reefer's overcome that sort of handicap before, but it's a bitter blow happening in the 3rd round. Low blow. Now, difficult to see how bad that cut is. It doesn't look too promising, I've got to tell you. And referee Kleinut having a close look now.
That's a tragedy for Mark, it really is.
This could be bad news.
So early in the fight. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it's the same cut that he had. He
on the eyebrow.
Which he received in the Commonwealth title fight against John Stula. This would be tragedy.
Let's have a look. Ringside doctor having a look at it. Okay for the moment, he says. Reefer smiles, a sigh of relief. Now he's got to go some.
I think Reefer's going to go for power punching and look to take the guy out. If he has to gamble, he's got to take.
He's got the armoury, but the Frenchman is a wily customer.
I think Mark's got to chance his arm now and really go for the big one. He's got the power to do it. That's for sure. Londas needs to stay smart now because Mark's really going to look to knock him out of every shot he throws. He knows he's on borrowed time.
Couple of good clubbing shots from the Frenchman.
Loves tripping down the face there. It'd be nice if he can get back and let Darky get to work on it. That's a tragedy in the European title fight going through.
I've got to say that cut might not be quite as bad as it looks. The blood tended to get smeared around Reefer's face by Londas' punches, but it was significant when the ref wiped it away. The blood actually stopped just momentarily. Darky Smith's going to have some work to do in the corner at the end of this round.
It's the mental side of it that worries me, how it's going to affect Mark.
Oh, and the champion tags him and hurts him. Good round for the champion, I've got to say that.
Mark's whole game plan was thrown out there by the cut, obviously. You know, he was thinking the fight was going to be stopped. And really, it's a very worrying stage of the fight for him. And I'm sure his concentration was far from how it should have been in that round once he got cut. And unfortunately, Londas capitalised by landing 2 or 3 really good shots of his own.
Well, desperation time now in Mark Reefer's corner. You can see Darky working away with the adrenaline solution and Vaseline, the only 2 substances allowed in the corner. And I would think things in the Londas camp must be pretty perky at the moment, Jim.
Yeah, this could work 2 ways with Mark Reefer. I think Mark might throw caution to the wind now and go for the big shot. And he's capable of pulling it off. But having said that, Londas must be really on a high at this present moment in time, knowing that Reefer's cut so early in the contest.
Well, Darky has done a good job.
But we know Darky's done it before when he fought for the Commonwealth. Let's hope it could be history repeating itself.
Reefer trying to prise open Londas' defence, but once again in trouble for low blows. Second warning. Doesn't want to get careless.
The eye's trickling blood yet again.
But it's not coming into the eye, which is good. It's running down the side of Reefer's face. So it's not proving too disabling yet. I do stress yet. But as we saw against John Sachula, Reefer was badly cut and came through. And I think you're right, Jim. I think that could well be the same cut that's opened.
It's a good thing, if there is a good thing to come out of the cut, is the fact that Mark's been there before. He knows what it's like to box under these circumstances, and that experience could stand him in good stead tonight. He hasn't panicked and become a crazy man. He's just taking his time and still boxing very, very smartly. And he needs to, because Londas will capitalise on any mistake Mark Reefer makes. He's a very sharp-eyed fighter and very experienced as well.
That was a very low punch. Well, he took his kneecap off. there's no doubting that the early exchanges in this contest belonging to the champion. Reefer hasn't yet cracked him.
You know, Londas' greatest advantage is the fact that he knows Mark's cut, and he's aiming for that.
That's another very low punch. The good news is, from Reefer's viewpoint, the eye is holding up.
He's getting very ambitious, Londas, with the right hand.
Well, here are the studied videos of Reefer fights. So if he figures he spotted a weakness, he'll be going for it.
The thing we could tend to forget is, although Mark's cut, you know, he's beginning to ship one or two good punches as well. Londas is starting to let his shots go now, and we've got to give that round to Londas as well on the cleaner punches landed. Very difficult situation when you're challenging for a title. You cut early in the contest. You know you've got to go out there and win the title. You've got the unwanted worry of a cut eye.
Referee Chapel Kleinwood of Holland going over to both boys in this break and telling them to keep their punches up. Both have had a couple of warnings, and it's an indication of just how tightly tucked up they are, Jim, that when the body shots do go, they're tending to go low simply because there's no open target on the body.
Yeah, and I think on the underscore on that level, I think Londas is putting them in lows, the way of telling Mark Reefer, you know, if you want to take it, let's have it. But looks like Mark Reefer can pull out one of these bombing left hooks, which we know he's capable of doing.
Round 5, scheduled for 12. The champion in the blue and gold trunks in front.
I'll say Darky's done a good job on the eye. He's really staunched that one.
A little bit of tape working loose on the Frenchman's left glove, which the ref would do well to watch. He looks as though he's come just to almost to nick this title defence of his, the Frenchman. He's not taking any chances at all, is he, Jim?
Yeah, sure, that goes back to what we were saying about attitudes, and you know, he's a champion, and basically his message to Mark Reefer is come and get it. You know, Londas should be prepared to box like this all night as long as he can just edge the rounds without being involved in anything to get the crowd excited. You know, he's here to do a job, and that's defend his European title, so he'll be well pleased.
Reefer slitting those punches well, but tagged with the right as he tries to come in. The Frenchman loosening up a bit now. Of course, the more you loosen up, the more open you become. So that could present one or two gaps for Mark Reefer to exploit that so far have been denied him. Even though Reefer is finding the going tough so far, Jimmy looks to have plenty left in the tank.
Yeah, Mark's in great shape. You know, he'll be there for the 12 rounds if need be. Londas is very cagey. He's boxing out of a peekaboo style, similar to Marlon Starling, and just pecking away with the shots and taking and diving with the counters from Reefer. So it's turned into an interesting little contest. There's the big left foot we was talking about. Quite loud on the jaw now.
There was a better round for Reefer, that fifth, but we've still got the Frenchman, the champion from Martinique, Daniel Londas, 35 years of age. I've still got him in front.
Yeah, I think Londas hasn't so much won the rounds as stolen, as you were saying earlier. He's just like nicked away, and let's give him a slight lead at this stage, which is really sort of academic at this stage of the game, because it's a long way to go in a 12-round fight.
Well, we've got to give credit to Darky Smith. He's doing a wonderful job in that corner.
I think the longer the fight goes, then you might see Reefer become very ambitious and sort of throw caution to the wind a little bit. It could turn into quite a fight to see.
Well, there's a long time to go yet. That was that left that Reefer threw. Didn't quite land on the button. It was a good shot though. In around 6, scheduled for 12, of course, the standard championship distance now. A good left. Reefer forced to cling on.
He was definitely hurt by that left hook. You've got to remember, this guy's no mean fighter himself, and Mark needs to hold now. He's still feeling the effects of that left hook.
Reefer now starting to bleed from the nose.
I think we may see Mark Reefer meet fire with fire here, because Mark will match anyone for firepower. And I think Daniel Londas could find that out to his cost if he gets a little bit too ambitious.
Well, as we saw against John Sachula, Mark Reefer took some thunderous shots and came through to win. He might have to do that tonight, and he's coming back very bravely now. And he's cut under the left eye now. Under and around the side of the left eye. The Reefer cut on both eyes, bleeding from the nose. Tags him, catches him well.
That was a good shot from Mark Reefer. That's what he's got to do now. He's got to go for the big one. He knows he's in trouble without a cut.
Standing count for the challenger.
This is the European rule, which is quite a good rule actually.
And in trouble. Cut around both eyes, standing count, and taking quite a lot of stick and hurt. Now it's forced to cling on.
He's got to hang on there now and just hang in there and just get through this round, because he's in big trouble at this present moment in time.
And the French champion realises that he has his man on the hook. Reefer has got 30 seconds or so to survive. The crowd are getting behind him, and Reefer fighting back.
Mark showing plenty of guts, and Londas is really trying to finish the job now. Reefer's coordination's completely
Reefer
gone.
fighting on pure instinct now. Inside the last 10.
It's a real uphill task now for Mark Reefer.
Oh boy, is Reefer in trouble.
That was a big round for Londas.
It was, but Reefer has come through it. Well, if this was not a championship fight, I think Reefer would be pulled out of this fight.
You know, just looking back over the replay, there's a good right hand from Londas landing there, and the left hook as well. And from that stage on, Mark's in big trouble, looking to hold. He's lost his balance there a little bit as well. And the referee done the right thing, like implying standing how he can.
Well, the referee, the doctor, taking a look at the challenger's injuries. He's living on borrowed time, and he knows it. He's behind on points, he's cut around both eyes, and he's got to pull something out if he wants to make this European title his own. The crowd, at long last, getting behind him.
You know, if anyone's capable of pulling it out with one shot, it's definitely Mark Reefer.
The 6th round was an awful round for him. He took a standing count. He was cut on the left, having been cut on the right eye, but the champion couldn't finish him. And Reefer, I'm sure, will take encouragement from that fact.
He's definitely like Daniel Londas that time. Good left hook. Londas is getting ambitious, and he could run onto one himself.
The cup looking bad again, I fear. And once again, is Reefer's title challenge over, we wonder. The fight continues, but it must be a desperately close thing. And as you say, Jim, Reefer's got to throw caution to the winds and pile everything on. It's doubtful whether that eye's going to last 12.
Yeah, it's very doubtful. He's really got to go for the big ones, but he's such a sharp, cagey fighter, this Londas. He seems to like to come back with good shots of his own. But Reefer's beginning to let the bombs go now. That's the right thing to do.
Well, Reefer's taking this round on sheer guts and aggression alone.
Oh, definitely.
Any doubts that we had about the champion surely dispelled by this performance. He's a good, cagey professional. And he's giving Reefer all the trouble he can handle. And just when you think that Reefer might be edging his way back into it, the champion cuts loose with a little salvo like that.
Londas throws good quality shots. He's a class fighter, there's no doubt about that. Just that little different upstep in class you can see him at this present moment. Mark's at this present moment is struggling to sort of live with it really, especially under the circumstances of being cut as well.
He's such a difficult target, the Frenchman.
Oh, very. Impossible.
Watch your heads. This is referee Klein to Mark Reefer.
You can almost see Londas thinking the fight.
And by contrast, the Frenchman, the champion, absolutely unmarked. And when Reefer tries to come in, the champion cuffs him off almost contemptuously. Not particularly hurtful punches, but they bring Reefer up. Mark Reefer had a good early share of that round. The Frenchman came back strongly at the end. Scored that round either way, but I have to ask Jim, if you and not Mark Reefer were fighting this man here, Daniel Londas, how would you go about unlocking him?
Well, it's a good question really, and you know, I've watched Londas box on a few occasions, and I've often viewed the possibility of that happening. What can you say? I mean, Mark's in a difficult situation of being cut, so his game plan's probably gone up in the wind at the moment. But I'd personally just try and match my own boxing ability against Daniel Londas, and hopefully that'd be good enough to prevail.
The Frenchman and the blue and gold. Took a couple of shots from Reefer, but it is significant that although Reefer's landed one or two really good shots, he's not inconvenienced the Frenchman at all. No, I'm not quite sure what the hold-up is there. Referee Klein.
No.
I think he's actually stopped the fight.
Has he stopped the fight? It looks as though he has. I don't know whether he stopped the fight or whether the Reefer corner have pulled their man out. But ended, it has.
It's a terrible thing to say, but I think it's a good decision. You know, Mark's fighting a class fighter there. He's not fighting no one who don't know what he's doing, and I think it's long term it's a good decision.
Well, a confusing end to an excellent title fight, and we must give credit to a pretty useful champion in the shape of the man on the left from Martinique, Daniel Londas. A brave and gutsy challenge from Mark Reefer, but in the end, not quite good enough.
Mark goes out to Mark Reefer, you know, to fight for a European title, and to lose it on cut eye is very hard to accept.
So there we are, that's the official decision. The referee stopped the contest at the start of round 8 because of the cuts around Mark Reefer's eyes. And how ironic that the last time Mark Reefer tasted defeat in October 1988 was in this self-same ring when he was stopped in 10 at a Commonwealth title fight, lightweight title, this time by Mo Hussein. I shouldn't think he'll want to come back to Brentwood in too much of a hurry. Well done, the champion. Disappointed for Mark Reefer. But as we said, Jim, he's still the champion.
You know, Mark goes out of the ring still as Commonwealth champion, and you know, he's gone out at the end of the day on a loss on a cut eye, so it's no great discredit. You know, Mark will bounce back, I'm sure of that.
Well, we've seen some marvellous fights from Mark Reefer. Those 2 Commonwealth title fights, the successful challenge and the successful defence. He's still only 25, he'll be 26 on the earliest part of next month. We'll be back with you on the 6th of March, by the way. That's 10 days before Mark Reefer's birthday. We'll be at the York Hall then to see Chris Eubank take on Hugo Corti of Argentina for the WBC international title. Let's hope for a British win then. But for tonight, all we can say is hard luck, Mark Reefer.
69